In today's lecture, we are going to explain binding. We will continue our previous lecture, remote procedure calls. Okay. So what is binding? Binding, when a server machine is unknown, the client will need to locate the server machine by contacting directory server to locate address of server system. Okay, in a remote procedure call, the RPC requires a remote binding. The client must bind to a server that offers the interface it wants. And the client local procedure must invoke the correct manager operation on bound to server. Because the various parts of this process occurs at runtime, it became possible to exercise nearly total programming control of binding. And there is possibility that more than one servers are connected in the network. Okay, so client have to know that which server has its procedure which the client wanted to invoke remotely. Each binding consists of a set of components that can be separately manipulated by applications. And the binding includes protocol and addressing information, interface information, object information, etc. This allows server to establish many binding paths to their resources and allow clients to make binding choices. Okay, based on its components. Here we see that server starts register its communication endpoint by sending request to port. The directory server exists between the client and server. And the port mapper that contains server program version number and port number, etc. Okay. Client process contact the port mapper to obtain handler for accessing server with a specific program and version number. This is done by RPC runtime library routine create. Okay. And the port mapper returns the port number to the server, port number of the server to the client system after verifying the program and version number. The port mapper verifies that, here you see that, here client process contact port mapper to obtain handler for accessing server with a specific program and version number. Port number verifies the server program and version number. If the program and version number exist on the server matches the client request, the server port mapper returns the port number to the client. When port number received by the client system builds client handle for client process for subsequent use in the RPC. So the binding process established socket connection between the client and server using the port number returned by port mapper, and a connection between the client and server establishes using that particular port number. This is called binding. Okay, so next move to RPC compilation. What is RPC compilation. RPC compilation means the client requires a remote procedure which exists on the server. So before calling the remote procedure, compilation of procedure is also required. Just to the compilation process converts that particular procedure into machine code which has to be compatible with the machine executed that particular procedure. The compilation of RPC requires three major components in the RPC package. First one is an interface specification file. The second is RPC generator, which takes the interface specification file as input and produces the client and server stub procedure source code as output. And the last one is the runtime library for supporting execution of RPC. Let us consider the full RPC or the full compilation model required to run a RPC application. Okay. Make files are useful for easing the burden of compiling RPC application. But it is necessary to understand the complete model before one can assemble a convenient make file. Assume that the client program is called some program written in C language. Okay. So here shown in the diagram, interface definition, ideal compiler, client stub, header file and server stub. If we expand this to more level, that we see here that header file, server stub, server code, and these three makes a language compiler and which runs on server application. Okay. So first of all, we take an example of a C program. The client program is called a C program. Suppose abc.c. The service program is something xyz.c, and that the protocol has been defined in some protocol, and that the our generator has been used to produce the stub. The client and server program must include header file. So in the first step, we have to compile the client code, and in the second step, we have to compile the client stub. After that, build a client executable file. Then the ideal compiler compile the server stub to build the server executable file. So this process explains how the ideal compiler compiles the remote procedure at the end of server application. So compilation, the whole compilation process runs on client end as well as on server end, because client calls the procedure. Naturally the client contains the calling statement in any particular process which exists on client code. So client stub has to be compiled, and the server stub, because client stub passes the parameters to the server, and server stub receives particular parameters, compile the server code, and then only after this compilation process server can run the remote procedure. So here in today's lecture we confine on RPC compilation only. In our next lecture we will continue with RPC failure handling. Okay, remote procedure call failure handling. Okay, thank you.